Oops. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the event number 4 Pre-Tourney podcast for Queen City. This is event number 4, and it is on the Yadkin chain, the Yadkin Yolo. We do this every year. This is the first time we've done it in the post-spawn, so it should be pretty interesting. We'll be fishing with the CKA guys, and also it's a double dip with the BASS state championship for North Carolina, a chance to qualify for the national championships. And I'll talk a little bit more about that as we go through this. The state championship has the signups are cut off. That was on Wednesday night. So if you wanted to sign up, it is too late. That was a $75 entry fee. We have 37 anglers, which means the top 3 anglers are going to they qualify for nationals if they decide to fish it, which it should be in South Carolina with the Bassmaster Classic being on Lake Hartwell. So it'll be somewhere in that area. Like I said, 3 spots will be paid. 3 spots will qualify for nationals and get a plaque for the BASS side of things. As for the rules, they are going to be Queen City rules. A couple things are a little bit different, and I'm going to talk about those. But if you're not sure about the rules, do me a favor. I want you to go to the Queen City page, click on files, and go down to where's it at? Go down to the rules right here. Click on those rules, and I would read through all of them to make sure that you know exactly what's going on. Just because, it's easy to miss a little detail. I'm going to try to give you the important ones tonight, but it's always good to read rules when you fish with a club. A couple things that are going to be different. Or we'll say the things that are the same. One motor. You can only fish with one motor. What else is the same? Entry fee is the same, $112 for the entry. That includes big bass. Small bass is $10. Membership is $75. If you're a member, you can fish the monthlies. You can fish the elite side pot. It'd be a little bit difficult to qualify for a TOC at this point if you sign up, but you still get some of those other things that are pretty awesome. You could also win biggest bass of the year, smallest bass of the year, biggest limit of the year, those sort of things. And then, of course, there's always an opportunity to donate to the Real Hero Outdoors, who help house our veterans. So that's always a good thing to put some extra money towards. Even if it's $5-10, it goes a long way. So for the Queen City event, the registration ends at 10 p.m. So if you want to get into the Queen City side of things, you didn't sign up, you missed that NC State Championship sign up, you still have a chance to sign up for the Queen City. That closes at 10 p.m. on Friday night. So go ahead and sign up now. The more people that sign up sooner, it's a domino effect. Everybody kind of waits, and then people start signing up, and then everyone starts signing up. I think it's kind of like day trading, right? People start buying when it goes up, when it's too late, and then it dumps. So buy now when it's low so that we can get everybody signed up. I don't know if that's a good comparison, but anyways. Rock Outdoors is our title it is title sponsor. It is our sponsor for this event. They will have the venue for the weigh-in, and they're going to provide us with some pizza. It's always good to get some pizza after you sit out there all day, getting tired fishing and getting frustrated. Okay, so now, let me get to those rules that are different. Okay, so normally Queen City only allows a catch board, but Bassmaster allows the Yak Attack leaderboard. So for this tournament, you can use a Yak Attack leaderboard for both events. So if, in Queen City and Bassmaster, you are allowed to use the Yak Attack leaderboard. Another thing that's different, you normally have to use a Queen City tin tag. You can use a CKA or a Queen City tin tag for this event. You have to use one of those. You cannot, a lot of times with bass, you can, ride it on your hand or river, but in this specific event, you have to use a Queen City or CKA identifier. So don't forget that. The tournament is going to be held on 4 different lakes. It's going to be on Baden, High Rock Lake, Tuckertown, and Tillery. High Rock is the first lake. It's the biggest of the 4. You go into Tuckertown, which is kind of basically like a river section. Then you have Baden, which is the second biggest, and then Tillery right below it. So Tillery is pretty big as well. It's a long, kind of like it looks like a river system as well. We'll talk a little bit more about that once we pull Landon on here. But for the event, it's May 2nd. You should know that by now, but it's a May 2nd. Launch is at 5:45. That means you can get your You can get your kayak in the water before 5:45, but you cannot leave the ramp until 5:45. So once it's 5:45, then that means you can go and find your spot. You cannot cast your line in or catch a fish until 6 a.m. As soon as it's 6 a.m., that's when you can start fishing. Last picture taken is at 1:59 p.m. So you can take pictures after that, but they're not going to count. The last submission is going to be at 2:59:59. So you always, with Queen City, as per usual, you always have an extra hour to turn in your fish. My experience, I've not had any issues with service on these lakes, but it's always good to kind of prepare for that. Check. I would submit your fish right away. I know some people like to sandbag, but you never know when you got a winning bag and then a wave hits you, you drop your phone in the water, and now you don't have a winning bag anymore. So I would submit those fish just in case. And then if you start to notice that you can't submit them, then you might plan for a little small drive to somewhere where you can get some better service. So you have 1 hour to submit. At 4 p.m. is the ceremony. It's going to be at Rock Outdoors. You can also on TourneyX, go on the app. It'll show you where the ceremony is. You can copy and paste that the address, and it'll take you right there. It's really close to High Rock Lake, a little bit further from the other lakes, but don't let that discourage you from going to the other ones because they could be really good as well. Past 2 years, it has got one out of High Rock, but we'll see this year could be a little bit different. There is a tournament coming out of Tamarack on High Rock. It's a big bass tournament. Someone said there will be close to 100 boats. I don't know if that part's true, but I do know there is a tournament, and it's going out of Tamarack. So maybe if you were kind of like thinking to go to Tamarack, it might be a little cautious. I've launched when there was a tournament, and it's really generally not that bad. But I think these guys go a little bit earlier than Safe Flight. So make sure, as per usual, again, this is part of the rules. You got to have a 360 light, and you got to have a red and green light on the front of your kayak. That way we can make sure you don't get run over, especially in this one, guys. Please, if you're on High Rock, do not forget that. And obviously it's part of the rules. So if you don't do it, you could get DQ'd, but you could also get ran over by a boat. So really make sure you do that. Let's see if there's anything else I'm missing before I move on. Blaine is judging both events. So if you have any questions, message him. If you enter into the small bass pot, then you need to send your pictures on Facebook Messenger to Blaine. Because you can't submit a fish under 12 inches. So if it's really small, you have to send it to him. So make sure you send them to them. I think at Murray, somebody won with like a 12-incher because no one actually sent any small bass submissions. So somebody with a 12-incher right at the limit size ended up winning small bass pot last tournament. Trying to think if I forgot anything. If I forget anything, go ahead and make a comment under the post, and I'll try and help you, or Vinny /Blaine/Ryan will also help you guys out, or you could reach out to them. We're going to get into this. I'm going to pull Landon into the podcast with us tonight. He's going to kind of talk about these lakes. He's fished them. I have only ever fished High Rock, so I don't know anything about the other ones. He might give us a little bit of juice. He might help us understand the lake, the fisheries a little bit better, help you guys feel a little bit more confident when you show up. So let's get him in here. Oops. There we go. What's up, Landon? Are you muted?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Good.
So if you guys don't know, what's up? If you guys don't know Landon, it has probably one of the biggest local YouTube channels, NC Bassin. He fishes all over North Carolina. I don't think I've seen a lot of South Carolina stuff.
Just Santee a couple of times.
Okay. And he just won. Obviously, it was the first event of the year, but he won Lake Norman. So, dude's a hammer. He is a really good fisherman. He wins a lot of tournaments. And what's the other club? I forget. I don't know. I can't.
Foothills.
Foothill. He fishes a lot with the Foothills and kills it with those guys. So
I'm only good at Lake Norman. I'm not good anywhere else. Just Lake Norman.
We'll see. We'll see about that after this tournament. If you do well on this one. So, have you fished? How many of the 4 lakes have you fished on?
I'm far from expert on the Yadkin chain. I'm more of a spotted bass, clear water, dock fishing kind of guy. But I tried to add it up last night. I fished 3 of the lakes, and I fished them about 18 times altogether. Not a ton of experience, but I know a little bit about lakes. I keep up all the tournament results around here. I know them a little bit.
Which one have you not fished?
Tillery. I've never been to Tillery.
You never fished Tillery. Okay.
No.
So High Rock is like
High Rock has the big ones. I mean,
Yeah, it does.
dirty water. I mean, everybody knows it usually wins this, but it can be really stingy. You can go there. The first time I went there, I got skunked. You can go there and not get a bite. It can be really tough.
Yes, I definitely agree with that. I pre-fished there this last weekend, and I did not catch a single bass. I pulled up on a point with some rock on it, and I was like, I'm about to kill him, and started throwing a crankbait. And for like 30 minutes, every cast I caught a white bass. I was smashing them. I was having fun doing that, but I'm like, this is not the right thing. I mean, I really tried to catch them, and I could not figure them out. A couple of years ago, I got third on out of High Rock, and I went to that same spot, same time of year, basically the same temperature, and I caught nothing but little ones. So
the white bass probably just cleared out all the bait, because when they go up the river to spawn, they're probably coming back, and I mean, it's probably just hundreds and hundreds of them, and the bass probably just left because there's gonna be no bait left.
That's
they
probably
can clear out a spot. They can clear out a spot.
I think I'm imagining on all 4 lakes probably going to be a brim spawn. I don't know if it's warm enough yet for a mayfly hatch, but that's possible. I've never been successful in the mayfly hatch, but I know I've seen a couple of YouTube videos of guys fishing on High Rock, catching them on a mayfly hatch. But
I think with the cold weather we have, the brim we're trying to get on beds, and they're making beds, but I think we're getting a little cold front coming. I think we're still going to have a big shad spawn. And guys, the bass are not done spawning yet. They are not spawning. They're skinny. It might be their second time spawning, but they're long. That's all that matters for us, is a big long bass. There's still some bass on beds, a lot of bass up shallow.
Wow, you saw some wherever you were at. You saw some spawners.
Yeah, no big ones though, but there's still some on beds. Surprisingly,
dang, that's crazy.
That full moon coming too. I mean, water temperature was about 67, so I'm not that surprised.
Wow, I didn't expect that. I thought they were pretty much all done. At High Rock, I looked around, I didn't see any, but maybe it was the section of the lake. I was up in Crane Creek looking around, but I didn't. Like I said, I didn't catch any bass. Someone might go there and win the dang thing.
I think in Norman they're done. Like they're all skinny and done, barely any fry garters. So it might have just been where I was at, but who knows? I'm sure somebody will get some on a bed. But shad spawn too. We get to launch early. Shad spawn could happen. I'm hearing some shad spawn happening at night. So you might just pull up on a spot, catch 4 big ones before the boats even blast off, and you guys could win it real quick.
Yep. We're gonna definitely hear a couple people at the weigh-in being like, "Yep, pulled up, made forecasts, and they cashed a check." I can't tell you how many times I've heard that happen, and I always get so mad. Like, man, what the heck?
So lucky, yeah. It feels like it's luck. But.
Yeah, but you got to understand the shad spawn, and you got to get them in the boat. So, but it's a long day if you catch 4 big ones, then you can't catch any more the rest of the day.
Yeah, that's true. Yes. But I would not mind it, especially with all the rain and stuff coming, and catch 4 big ones in the first 15 minutes and then just coast out the rain. It might not be that bad, though. The weather's always wrong. Like 12 hours ago, it's supposed to pour an inch of rain. Now it's saying like maybe a quarter of an inch. It might not even rain. So don't let discourage you guys from signing up. I think it'll just drizzle all day and the fish will bite and the wake boats and jet skis will stay home.
Yep, I agree.
The other day when I
practiced, to bite when it's raining.
Yeah, the other day when I practiced, they bit. It was supposed to rain. I took off Wednesday to practice. It's supposed to rain. It didn't even rain. And I seen 2 boats all day, and they bit great when it was cloudy. As soon as the sun came out, the bite died. Oh. But I seen a few on beds after that, but they weren't big ones. But still, there were still some on beds.
So on Tuckertown now, like I've done like a bunch of research on all the lakes, but I've heard there's hydrilla in Tuckertown, but I've never been there.
I've only been once, and it's full of black snot. But don't let that. It used to have a lot of hydrilla, but don't let that discourage you. That lake is known for some giant bags. I mean, 30+ pound bags. I know a guy that kills it there, and he catches 7-8 pounders all the time.
Oh my!
He's a pro on that lake. But I went there, and it looks awesome. It was just a boat tournament out there, and when there's 45 boats on a lake, it gets real crowded. But I mean, it's 2,500 acres, and it's a river, so you have plenty of room. And there's backwaters, like behind the railroad tracks and stuff. Everything looks good on that lake. There's standing timber, too. I mean, it looks like a perfect lake for kayak fishing.
But it's tough, like High Rock?
It can be. I think that day the boats were just crowded, but people still caught 21 inchers and stuff, I heard. So there's still some fish in there.
Yeah.
And I think the current, if they start drawing some current, that lake really turns on. It can be really bad. But I mean, there's big ones in there. That lake can win. I'm pretty sure it's been second, third, maybe even won this Yolo tournament before. I mean, there's been some big bass caught out there. I can remember on the V Twin. I mean, it's been probably 8 years ago. A guy caught 11.5 pounder out there. There's giants in that lake. It can be done.
Jeez, yeah, that's crazy.
But everybody knows High Rock has the big fish, and baiting's good too. I mean, it's more clear and the water's low, but it has grass, a lot of water willow, and Tillery's full of water willow. If you like fishing grass, those lakes are good, and it's deep with a lot of rock and docks. Tuckertown, there's barely any docks in the whole lake, and High Rock's known for dock fishing. There's a ton of docks on High Rock too, and a lot of places to fish. They have that big bass tournament, and they get to launch anywhere like us. It's first cast like us too, so they can go to any ramp. They'll be spread out, and it's a big lake with a lot of creeks. You can get away from boats easy there. Yeah. Don't let that boat tournament discourage you from going there. If your best chance to win, the lake I'm going to is not High Rock, and I'm just trying to cash a check. Somebody at High Rock's probably going to catch a 23, 24 incher, and it's hard to do. It's hard to do on some of these lakes.
Yeah, that's fair. And so the other two have grass, and so baiting is clear. How clear is it? Because
it can get muddy, but right now it's clear.
Okay,
it's more clear than High Rock. Way more clear than High Rock. It gets down to 190 foot. It's a deep lake. It can, and those fish can get deep too. But there's tons of structure on that lake and tons of places to fish. Tillery's probably the same. I think Tillery's got a lot of docks though too. But Tillery has a Uwharrie River that runs into it, and there's smallmouth in that. The smallmouth really don't play a role though, because most of the smallmouth are 2 pounds, maybe 3 tops. But you might get lucky and go there and catch a smallmouth, which is pretty cool in the middle in like Piedmont.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. There's not a lot of places to catch smallmouth in this region of the country. I mean, there is some places, but not like other places. And
if you go way up the Yadkin River on High Rock, you can catch smallmouth, but you couldn't get there from our launches. But there's smallmouth way up the Yadkin River. You might get one that washed down somehow, but it's rare. Okay. And there's spots in Tillery, but there's no spots. There's a rare spot out High Rock every once in a while, but mainly they're largemouth lakes, and these lakes have some big fish. I mean, these lakes rival Santee usually takes about 80 inches to win this. I mean, you're going to need some big fish. These lakes can be fun. You catch your PB at any of these lakes for sure.
One thing about High Rock is really interesting. I don't know if, like I said, I haven't spent much time on the other ones, but this could be why there's such big bass in there. There's a little local lake like this too, but High Rock is loaded with gizzard shad. I'm talking loaded. Like, they are everywhere. Like, last year in the fall, I was snapping a spoon and I snagged. I couldn't tell what kind of, it's hard for me. It's hard to tell exactly what kind of bait it is at first, but I was, snapping it through the schools of bait, and I snagged one, and it was a gizzard shad. And then you could see like the bait size on scope and everything. There is so much freaking gizzard shad in there, and I think that's why the bass are so big. There's a little lake that near my house called Saluda Lake. It's like 300 acres, and it's same thing, loaded with gizzard shad. It can be really tough, but I caught 2 fish over 7 pounds in the winter. They're just giants in it, and I think it's kind of the same thing at High Rock.
Big bait, big fish. There's a lot of standing timber too, and High Rock is plumb full of crappie. There's no limit on crappie, and people drive all over the state to come there and kill a lot of standing timber and just giant crappie. I mean, there's 4-pound crappie get caught there, but there's no limit, no size limit. You can keep 1,000 crappie a day there. It's so full of crappie. I think those big bass eat crappie and get huge.
Oh, I bet they do. I did not know they didn't have a limit there. I actually caught a crappie there on a 6-inch minnow. I could not believe he ate it, but he choked it up.
Was it a big one or a small one? It has a lot of small ones and a lot of big ones. Like, it's usually
it was like a 10-incher, but I couldn't believe he ate a 6-inch minnow. That just tells me they're definitely feeding. Everything's feeding on those gizzard shad. There's a lot in there. It's crazy. I mean, when I got in there, like, every time I go there and put my scope in, I cannot believe how much bait is in that. I mean, it is ridiculous. Like, everywhere you look, there's just bait. Yeah. And there's some big catfish. There's a lot of trash fish, guys, but there is some giant bass.
There's actually a lot of bass. They shock the lake, and they're just smart. I guess they get fish for so much. They're smart. There's actually a lot of bass in High Rock. They're hard to find and hard to catch, I guess.
Yeah. It might be like
at least for me. Yeah.
Same. From what I hear from a lot of people talk about High Rock, it's like they say it's like old school fishery. A lot of Carolina rig.
Yep. Yep.
I read something online that said it's the crankbait capital of North Carolina or something
Yeah,
like that.
David Fritz and the Bassmaster Classic there. The deep cranking was big back then, I guess, but
Yeah.
it's still like that. You can't go out there and scope and win. Like for the guys like me with no scope, it's a good play. It's a good lake because the water stays kind of stained and the fish kind of stays shallow. It's hard to scope there. They're usually stuck to something. They're not just floating around in the middle of the lake. I'm sure there's guys that's caught them on live scope there, but usually you don't even need live scope there.
That's a good sign. I don't know if I'll even take mine this time with all that rain. Yeah. I might just fish up shallow.
I think the fish are shallow. I don't know. The water is low though. All the lakes, I looked at the water levels. They're all more than 2 foot low, but it shows Tuckertown's going to rise, so that might help the bite there. But Baden and High Rock are going to go down a little bit. It says, but we're going to get that rain, so who knows?
So you think Big Bass is going to be like 23 inches?
24 maybe. Yeah, I think 23 would be safe, but somebody might just get some crazy 24. But
man, that'll be crazy. I don't know. What
it would go a long way.
What is biggest bass of the year right now? Do you know? I don't
know what it is. I don't know.
24. That'd be awesome, guys. That'd be sweet.
Somebody will catch a 24.5 at Santee probably, but yeah, I bet somebody will have 80 inches in this probably. I thought I had the best day of my life the other day, and I had 74.25. And I just was like, how would people catch 80 inches? That might not even catch a check because these lakes are crazy.
Yeah, we'll see, huh? It's gonna be interesting. Every time we go here, it's usually in the fall. Or the past 2 years we went here, it's been in the fall, and the limits are smaller in the fall. But we're like I said, there's a brim spawn possibly coming up pretty soon as a hatch. The mayfly hatch, so there we could see some crazy stuff. I'm really excited. I'm curious to see how it goes. I appreciate you hopping on the podcast with me tonight, Landon.
No problem.
Giving us a little bit of information, helping us feel a little more confident.
They are biting, or at least they were yesterday. It's perfect conditions yesterday. They always, if they bite in practice, it can be up, but they are biting. We could have a fun day.
Sometimes it's a bad sign when they start biting in practice.
Yeah, Yeah, I was trying to save fish, and I went to other spots, and there were bite there, and I was like, "Well, I'm going to save them here and go there." They were just biting everywhere. Like that, it was one of those days.
Dang. Hopefully, it's like that in tournament day, guys.
I hope it is Saturday. I hope everybody catches them. We all have a good day.
We'll see you guys out there. Good luck. Thanks, Landon. Have a good night.
You too. Thanks.